In the who or what lesson, we learned how to replace names for everything in the universe that is something, has something, does something, and has something done to it. The moment that something is something, has something, or does something, we call the present. Another word for this is now. Everything after now we call the future, and everything before now we call the past. Another word for this ordering is time. There are 3 parts of time: the past, the present, or the now, and the future. That's it. If you or anyone you know knows another time, call me. That would be a sensation, and the world would need to know. When someone tells us something, we need to know if the action is before now, past, now, present, or after now, future. The technology to do this with as few words as possible we call the when technology. Learning these in English is easy, but you need the courage to accept the gaps. As with all the other technology, you do not need to use it. There are words for almost every when. For example, the words past, present, future, yesterday, last week, today, at 10 a.m., tomorrow, and next week. You can use them together with the pure or dictionary form of the action, and everyone will understand you. I now play guitar. He, future, takes the train. She moves tables tomorrow. It pushes people in the past. We use books today. They seemed nice yesterday. The English when technology communicates the when with less or shorter words. The when technology for the past is the ending ed. To communicate that an action is in the past, add ed to the action word. It's that simple. Everyone will understand you. Push becomes pushed. Use becomes used. Seam becomes seamed. And move becomes moved. When you add ed to a verb, an action word, everyone will understand that you mean that what you're talking about happened in the past. It does not matter who or what is doing something. The ending is always ed. John and Susie pushed the car. I pushed the car. You pushed the car. He pushed the car. She pushed the car. It pushed the car. You pushed the car. They pushed the car. We pushed the car. You probably know some action words that change in a different way to communicate the past. Looking at the operators, we see that 80% of them change in a different way. Why is that? Around 1,000 years ago, there were many different technologies for communicating that an action was in the past. To make this simpler, the idea came up to replace all these different technologies with one simple one, adding ed. But people were so used to the old patterns that it was hard to change. Making people use the new language technology was made more difficult because few people went to school, and even less people went to school regularly. So people used the new technology for many words, but not for all words. After a while, people stopped trying to change them and accepted them as exceptions. That made action words with the ed ending regular, and those that did not, irregular. That 80% of the operators are irregular makes sense now, because they are some of the most used action words. In fact, there are around 470 irregular action words, and almost 200 of them are the most common action words in the English language. So what to do with these 470 irregular action words that resisted the new technology? Have courage in the face of what you do not know, and learn them one at a time. If you do not know that an action word is irregular, add ed until you learn otherwise. Add ed to every action word until you learn the exceptions one at a time. Make as many sentences you need using your new irregular action word until it becomes a habit. This is how native-speaking children learn them. They first put ed on every action word until they learn the exceptions one at a time. Practice the when past technology with the who or what technology, the operators and directives, and your current most important 25 words until you are comfortable doing so. The future when technology is even easier than the past technology because there are no irregular action words in the future. Always, always, always put will before the action word to communicate that something has not happened yet. Push becomes will push. Use becomes will use. Seem becomes will seem. And move becomes will move. Now practice the when future technology with the who or what technology, the operators and directives, and your current most important 25 words until you are comfortable doing so. But accept the gaps. You can leave the will out when other information in the sentence makes it absolutely clear that someone is talking about the future, or when another action word already has will in front of it. But be careful. This is not as easy as it sounds. So please, for now, always add the word will until you are so good at it that you can think about leaving it out. The present when technology is the dictionary form, the form of the action word you find in the dictionary. And in most sentences, it stays that way. I go, you go, we go, they go. Everyone will understand you if you say he go, she make, or it move. But native speakers add an S on the action word with the replacement words he, she, it, and with single names. In other words, they add the S when what you are talking about is one thing. John sees. He sees. She sees. It sees. But why an extra S? The reason for this is not only unclear, it is frustratingly confusing. When you use one name or a replacement for one name, it is absolutely clear that you are talking about one thing in the universe. He, she, and it mean one male thing, one female thing, and one sexless thing. It's not necessary to communicate this information again. Even worse, in the one situation where it could help, it doesn't. The English you can mean one or more than one. An S on the action word for a single you would help, but the single you is an exception. You see and not you sees. This is a classic example of how arbitrary and illogical many language patterns are, and how resistant to helpful change language is. Native speakers do not think about how silly this rule is. But when learning a second language later in life, such things that do not make sense can be frustrating. Practice the when present technology with the who or what technology, the operators and directives, and your current most important 25 words until you are comfortable doing so. You may notice when practicing the present when and the S on single names and he, she, it, that the present form of the action word does not communicate now. This makes the present different from the past and the future. In fact, it shows how the present is a bit of a mystery. To understand this, watch the Mystery of the Present video. Be and time. As we learned in the who or what technology, we can look at an action from the perspective of the doer, the receiver, and anything involved in the process. So what about this change in perspective in the past, present, and future? To communicate the when from the perspective of the receiver and the thing or things involved in the process has two parts. Number one, the action word changes to communicate the change in perspective. And two, we need the word be to communicate the when. For example, Susie, the receiver, is given the book by John. The book is given by John. The book is given to Susie. Susie was given the book by John. The book was given by John. The book was given to Susie. Susie will be given the book by John. The book will be given by John. The book will be given to Susie. Just like the irregular action words, you will need to learn the form for the change in perspective one at a time. Do not try to memorize them as a list. Use whatever form you think is best until you notice a better way. Then practice that way until you are comfortable with it. The more important thing to learn is that it is not possible to communicate this perspective and when at the same time. No matter how the action word changes to communicate this perspective, additional information is needed to answer the question when. Whenever there is not enough information in the action word to answer the question when, the word be is added. That is why you must learn the when technology for the word be now. It is both one of the most irregular and important when words to learn. It will help you now and with all the other technologies in this course. Practice the be when technology with the who or what technology, the operators and directives, and your current most important 25 words until you are comfortable with it. When the word have is in front of the word be, the word be becomes be. Do not worry about this now. Accept the gap. It will be important much later in the course, and it will be explained then. I only mention it in case you have heard this already and want to ask, can I also say? My answer again is yes, but not now. We are now finished with time. Everything else we do, every other technology, is not about time. Of course, every other technology happens in time. And that means that every other technology needs to be combined with the when technology. But that does not mean that they are about time. I'm looking forward to explaining this more in the next lesson. See you there.